back to News Geelong. Work has commenced on the City of Greater Geelong new $5.3 million library being built next to the Leisure Link Aquatic Centre in Pioneer Road in Warren Ponds. The two-storey library will be a modern high-tech facility and is being funded by the federal and state governments in conjunction with the City of Greater Geelong.
We're here at the Warren Ponds new site for the library, and the first turning of the sod has happened here. A double-storey, state-of-the-art location.
We've put in $3 million. This was actually a federal election commitment from 2007 to build a new library and community hub.
The whole area is growing, Warren Ponds and then the Armstrong Creek region as well, so it's going to be a valuable resource for the community.
Well, that's right. This is, of course, Geelong's growth corridor. It's very important that governments come together to invest here with the community infrastructure we need to help support that growing community.
Yeah, certainly very proud of the state's commitment. I also had involvement with it, obviously being a councillor previously at the City of Greater Geelong, and that's a fantastic facility. It'll be state of the art. It'll have all the learning spaces in it, so it'll be a real modern library. Gone are the days of the rows of stuffy books with dust all over them. That's not the modern library, and really looking forward to this facility being built and providing not just a library but community space for the growing area here.
Oh, look, it's a fantastic day to start construction on this project. It'll be a great addition to southern Geelong. The federal government's tipped in $3 million. The state government's tipped in around about $700,000 or $800,000, and the city's going to tip in about $1.6 million.
And a perfect location right next to the pool and leisure centre in the Warren Ponds shopping area as well.
Indeed, it's going to be a very popular location here. We're looking forward to the state government helping us out with the upgrade of Pioneer Road, and we think this will become a real community hub for the people of southern Geelong.
Have you got any clue of a time frame?
Yeah, look, this building's going to be completed by the end of 2011, so we'll be back here opening it before Christmas, and hopefully I'll be able to come down and with my fellow citizens in southern Geelong, borrow some books, some DVDs, and maybe use an Apple iPad.
Here at the site of the new Warren Ponds Library, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
The Geelong Gallery has presented many excellent exhibitions since it opened its current doors in 1984. Until May 1st this year, the works of Sidney Nolan Gallipoli series will be on view. The 252 drawings and paintings, completed over a 20-year period, is on loan from the Australian War Memorial, as Ian Nichols reports.
This is the Geelong Art Gallery and their first major exhibition for this year, Sidney Nolan's Gallipoli. We understand Nolan was inspired by the Trojan Wars when he lived on the island of Hydra when he started this Gallipoli series. And these are his heroes of now, the Australian soldiers. It's an amazing exhibition. It's on till May, and we would suggest you try to get down here. We know that the gallery director, Jeffrey Edwards, is very excited about this one.
Everyone knows the Ned Kelly series. Many will know Burke and Wills, or Nolan's drought and desert scenes, perhaps even later in The Swan. And yet just as important, just as compelling and as poignant and imaginative are Nolan's Gallipoli paintings, painted in fits and starts, as it were, over about 20 years, from the mid-50s until the early 70s. Many of them, not all of them, were gifted to the Australian War Memorial by the artist in the late 1970s. And so this wonderful collection of works on paper, large paintings, portraits, landscapes, is really for the first time, as part of this Australian War Memorial tour, becoming known to a wider audience as one of the great series. And happily, here we have them at Geelong Gallery, the only venue in Victoria where we can see them. Many think of the Australian War Memorial, one of the great institutions in the land, dealing with the history of Australia's engagement in so many theatres of war, as being certainly photographic documentation, certainly original airplanes, tanks, uniforms, but of course the War Memorial has a wonderful collection of works of art to do with Australia's engagement in the various theatres of war. And indeed many are official works of art by the official war artists in our foyer in supporting this exhibition are several paintings by the official First World War artist Harold Septimus Parr. But many of the later works were not actually created officially, but nonetheless attest to the extraordinary story. And Nolan was very moved by the story of Gallipoli.
At the Geelong Art Gallery at the Sydney Nolan Gallipoli exhibition, Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Paco Festa is the largest free celebration of cultural diversity in Australia, and every year since 1983 it attracts scores of people from our local and cultural communities, professional performers, community groups, schools, businesses, street traders and artists from all walks of life, as Meryl Friend reports.
We're here at City Hall for a special welcoming celebration for 125 new arrivals to Geelong, and it coincides with the launch of the 29th Paco Festa, which is going to be held on Saturday the 26th of February.
I guess the first time the city has ever welcomed the new refugee communities to Geelong. So it's a special event, and also, like you said, the launch of Paco Festa. So it's all happening in Geelong tonight.
And have you got any idea of how many different nationalities are represented here this evening?
Well, Diversitat, we've got 42 ethnic communities that make up our organisation.
And it's into its 29th year, Paco Festa. I can still remember it as a child. What sort of things can people expect this year?
The main thing this year, it's going to be called the Drumbeat of Paco. So we've had workshops with some schools and community groups. So we anticipate we're going to have about 400 people drumming at the start of the parade. So it's going to have a samba feel, you know, very much Brazil.
And I'm joined with Robert Tigiano, who's 10, and Chris Bortoletto, who's 9, and they're representing the Lithuanian community. Boys, are you going to be in the Paco Festa parade?
Yes.
And can you show us something very special from the Lithuanian dance culture?
Sure.
Oh, look, it really is an exciting time for me, and being a first-year counsellor, it's probably one of the biggest events I've been involved in. And, you know, coming from parents that immigrated here in 1957 really gives me a lot of pride to be able to be involved in this, which is, as you know, a first for the city of Greater Geelong with our welcoming of new arrivals. Geelong West and, you know, all of those northern suburbs are still very multicultural, and as we're aware, the Matchworks Paco Festa commenced there in its inaugural year in 1983. So, you know, 29 years, and we're heading on into 30, which is a fantastic celebration.
So we're involved in lots of different cultural and community events in the Geelong and Victorian area. We have dances that range from 5 to about 20, and we really enjoy sharing our culture with the rest of the community.
All right. And can you say hello to the Macedonian viewers?
Zdravo.
And would you like to invite them along to the Paco Festa?
Sakame sida da te vidime na Paco Festa.
From City Hall, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. This is News Geelong Friday edition as we go to a break and return with more news, sport and weather after this.